On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, we have a preview of the week's digital edition of the Fisherman magazine. I'll share with you a couple week fish trips I did last week, one out east and one in the Great South Bay, and I will go around the map and I'll tell you all about the fishing action and our correspondents check in from around the island all here at thefisherman.com.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Today's Thursday, June 1st, 2023, and we're coming to you from Shark Bait and Tackle in Mastic. Check this place out. They've got a nice selection of bait and tackle to suit all your fishing needs. We hope you had a chance to take advantage of the great weather over the weekend and you didn't get caught in that blow on Monday. The digital edition is actually out now. Check out my Striper article. Also in the magazine is a North Coast boat review. And for you surfer anglers, Jerry Audette has a great read as well. A good reason to be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine is that you're automatically entered into our Dreamboat contest and your chance to win a center console from Steigercraft, powered by Yamaha. $30 gets you 12 glossy print issues, and all the digital issues sent to your inbox. Is the best deal going out there right now. Now let's get to our 2023 Dreamboat Challenge update.
Now it's time for the Dreamboat update. Derek Plummer is the new weakfish leader with his 8.66 pounder weighed in at Bobby J's in Milford, Connecticut. Bobby Cifarelli built his lead score with an 8.47 pound tide runner, landing him in second place for the category. Joe Hernandez made his first ever Dreamboat entry and topped the Sea Robin board with his 3.34 pounder. Joe Kotak logged the first fluke of the 2023 contest, and it was a good one at 7.1 pounds. Kyle Kraus lifted himself into second place overall with his 2.4 pound porgy. Charlie Pickus caught this fat bluefish that weighed in at 15.2 pounds, and that was good enough for second place in the category. The leaderboard now looks like this. Eddie Terrabil dropped from first to third, now with 14 points. Kyle Kraus clawed his way into second place with 15 points, and Bobby Cifarelli is our new leader with 19 points. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a 21-foot Steigercraft center console powered by a Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Visit thefisherman.com to subscribe and get all the details so you can be part of the action.
Now let's get to our upcoming events. The Surf Rats Bowl Tournament starts June 1st and continues through July 5th. On June 3rd is the All-Pro Fishing Tournament and Fair in Lindenhurst. Friday, June 9th is the Manhattan Cup benefiting our service members. On Saturday, June 10th is the South Shore Invitational Charity Fishing Tournament out of Robert Moses, and I will be there as a weighmaster. And one more for June is the New York State Outdoors Day at Hempstead Lake State Park. June 15th and 16th is Scotty's Offshore Shootout at a Point Lookout as well. To get all the details on these events and more, visit thefisherman.com/events. Now, let's head around the map and I'll tell you what I've been hearing. I headed out over the holiday weekend to fish on the south side of the Great South Bay to get in on some of the weakfish action. On a quick trip, I had a half dozen weakfish up to 17 inches using no live bait needed soft plastics and Bass Assassins. Tide was poor, so I used power drifting techniques to help out. The bite did die off later in the day as most boat traffic started to kick up. Most of the technique was just a subtle jig off the bottom, and the fish usually hit on the drop. All those who haven't fished the NLBNs before know they are excellent at staying on the jig head with their corkscrew style holder, making for a more durable soft plastic. Now for around the map, in the east end, bluefish were the mainstay across the entire area, but if you can get through them, you would see a good bite of stripers up to 35 pounds in the Montauk rips, weakfish up to 10 pounds inside Peconic Bay, huge porgies up to 18 inches also inside the bay, and better fluking over in Shinnecock Bay. I did fish with Will from East End Anglers over the holiday, and we had a great Peconic Bay mixed bag with porgies up to over 3 pounds. At Jessup's, some weakfish up to 7 around shelter, and slot stripers in the gut using light tackle bucktails. And for those fluke enthusiasts, Brian Paul proved that doormats have made it to the North Fork. He caught a 12.84 pounder on May 31st aboard the Nancy Ann in Peconic Bay. Along the South Shore, anglers can find weak fish in their normal haunts on the south side of the bay, Copeg and Heckscher, with bigger fish showing up when there's less boat traffic. For fluke fishing area on the incoming where slip gut is minimal, you'll catch either in Mauritius Narrows or west of the Robert Moses Bridge. Blues are roaming both bays as well, with fish pushing 10 plus pounds. In fact, a 16-pound blue was waiting at Benn nets, which was caught on a chunk at Bay Shore Dock. Striper action is best after dark in the bay at Moses Bridge, with soft plastics accounting for slot fish and smaller school-sized fish. To the west of that, bass were the best option during the week in Jamaica Bay. Some large bass were decked and released. They're jumping on topwater plugs, bunker chunks, parachutes, and live line bunker. Action is also good at Debs and Jones Inlet. Fluke activity was pretty good on the inside, depending on the area. Again, slip gut was a problem, similar to the east. The flatties are willing to hit gulp and small bucktails on the outside areas of Jones Inlet. Anglers are connecting with a decent amount of ling and returning those sea bass before the season opens, and they're getting some cod too still. For the North Shore, stripers are willingly hitting flutter spoons, bucktails, mojos from the triangle going east out to the gut. Bluefish are mixed in too from 8 to 13 pounds. You can find them in the early mornings tossing topwater lures at them, and that's been super effective. For porgies, literally anywhere you can look for them. Most rock piles have been holding them, with some larger ones up to 3 pounds in the mix. Fluking has been okay out of Huntington, but the further east you go, the ratio from short to keeper gets better, with some areas near Port Jefferson seeing as good as a 3-to-1. Spearing, gulps, fish bites have all been ideal on rigs and bucktails. Bluefish still dominated the surf scene this past week. From the South Shore bays, Peconic Bay, Montauk, and the North Shore, there was no shortage of them. Topwaters, bucktails, tins, you name it, they were on it. Bunker chunks also scored their share of fish as well. After dark seemed to be the best time to score, with stripers from the surf, from the South Shore inlets and Montauk shoreline, along with the Sound beaches. Weakfish were still sticking around in the back creeks on the east end of Long Island. Porgies also provided shorebound anglers with ample opportunity to bend a rod using clams or sandworms from Peconic and North Shore beaches. News 12 meteorologist Rich Van Ollen reports he had some spotty overslots and some bass at 30 pounds in the ocean trolling mojos this past week outside of East Rockaway. Rich, what's the weather looking like this weekend?
Hey, thanks, Matt. Let's check that weekend forecast and see what we got going on. You can always check your favorite apps, websites, weather tools, whatever you got. This is a general heads-up, general overview on the upcoming weekend, so you have an idea of what's heading our way. And right now, it doesn't look very nice after last weekend, which was pretty good. Water temps 50s and 60s. We start out Saturday very early morning. It's okay in the ocean, but builds pretty quickly by mid to late morning. 4 to 8s, 8 to 12s all throughout the ocean. Looks kind of messy with the northeast breeze coming in. May settle down right along the beaches. Sunday, late morning, midday afternoon. We may get a window in there. We'll see how things go with that. The forecast subject to change a bit. Looks like a backdoor weather front coming in from the northeast from New England. There's some green on there. That means we got some rain Saturday, maybe into Sunday. Look at the winds, too. 15 to 20, gusting to 25. Maybe sitting down a little bit for Sunday, midday afternoon, but right now not too optimistic about the weekend. Full moon this weekend, high tides, North Shore, late morning, midday, South Shore for the morning. 60s all weekend, west to east across Nassau and Suffolk with the cloud cover. Check the Guru, a little different perspective right there. And you can see we start out maybe okay early Saturday morning for a few hours, but then those easterlies really start to crank here. Northeast winds, seas go up. Probably a small craft for Saturday afternoon, 4 to 6 feet. There's Sunday, still a northeast in there. Not as gusty, maybe a little window by mid to late afternoon, maybe settling down a little bit. But right now, not the best looking weekend. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Check those apps as we get closer. Maybe a little better for Sunday. Be safe. Catch them up. Matt, back to you.
Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Greetings, everybody from Montauk. We're out here again for another week of the fishing report. We are out at Montauk Point. I got my son Pierce and Timmy Mullen. We've been out here tonight catching some nice bass and bluefish, and as you can see, it's game on with the birds working. So bass and bluefish is still going really well. There's been some bigger fish moving into the area. Unfortunately, the fluke bite's kind of slow. I think the water temperature's got to warm up a bit more. It's just really not starting to kick in yet. The Viking 5-star, they were offshore. They caught a nice big porbeagle shark. They also did really well on the tile fish. Those guys are going to shift gears and probably start tuna fishing soon. so maybe check out their website. The other thing is there's a couple tuna landed this weekend on Saturday at the old Gone Fishing, which is now the Montauk Sportsman's Dock or something like that. But there's tuna being landed. All right, until next week, guys, get out this weekend. The weather's not looking great, but we'll give you a full report next week. Thank you, Matt.
From Sag Harbor, we have Will and Andy.
Thanks, Matt. Report this week out of Sag Harbor. Inshore really still honestly amazing every time you get there when the weather cooperates. Weakfish, weakfish I've heard of 10 plus pounds. Porgies keep on getting bigger and bigger. Gator blues still on top, sometimes causing a nuisance when you're trying to get to other things, but they're definitely there and they're a ton of fun on top water and light tackle.
Thanks, Will and Matt. So as Will said, the inshore bite's been super strong. Porgies, weakfish, bluefish, striped bass have also been on fire, both in the Peconic and in the Oceanside, whether that's on live bunker, on diamond jigs, on surface poppers, on trolling plugs, etc. You name it, it's all been quite strong. And then finally, the offshore tuna bite picking up, particularly with the bluefin. So we're really excited for that, and stay tuned for next week. We hope it continues on that trajectory. So back to you, Matt.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Well, big story of the weekend was some nice big bass on bunker pots showing up, just like we like them. Flutter spoons, live lining, big service plugs. We're all working. Pictured here is Justin Melfi, PJ's son, really good surf casting buddy of mine, great fisherman, and they were on them pretty good all weekend. Towards the end of the weekend, the wind became a bit of an issue, but hopefully this pattern's going to keep up. There were some whales off of Pound Quag Beach and some of the Quag beaches today, I had heard. So, the bunker's here, so and those bass are here. We have a huge body of fish to the west of us. So hopefully we'll be in it, pretty good for a while through this full moon, and hopefully afterwards, and look for Montauk to start getting those big fish any day now as well. That's really kind of been about the story. I mean, there's still some good fluke fishing going on. I know that Hampton Lady and Shinnecock Star have been into them. The people that are going up to the Peconics are getting, still getting some really nice weakfish, really nice porgies. When they've gone out into the ocean, there's also been some ling mixed in. So things are really, really, good fishing going on. So definitely worth making the effort to go out there. I keep talking about the Manhattan Cup. We are in desperate need of boats. If you're able to take out a team of 2, 3, even better, 4 people, we could really use your help. It takes place at Liberty Landing Marina Friday, June 9th, with a lot of new sponsors on board and existing sponsors stepping up into bigger roles. We have the need to accommodate more people. We also have the most veterans we've ever hosted for the day at 45 so far, and probably get a few more from there. If you're able to join us, if you have the tackle and gear to, for your team to compete during the day, catch and release, bass and blues, all catches documented on a score sheet. There's a captain's bag, a mate's bag, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are included in it. Great party afterward, unbelievable cause. So please, if you're able to do it, could really use the help. Reach out to me on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on ManhattanCup.com, and hopefully we'll see you there. All right, back to you, Matt.
Let's check in with Capt, Bane Tackle, and Fuel with Brendan Rutigliano.
Thanks, Matt. South Shore of Long Island is still on fire. We had thought Memorial Day blow would make fishing really tough, even on Sunday and Monday. The blues were still biting. Captree Piers have some nice lady crab action. Check on Ken's catch from this past week. Blues, keeper striped bass, and fluke have also been caught on the pier. Snappers have hatched. They aren't catchable yet, but should be within the next 2 weeks on Sabagi Rips. Offshore report, Will King ran out to the eastern canyons, caught a few blowfish on jigs in 400 to 500 feet water, and the surface bluefin krill feeds ranging from 43 to 55 inches.
From the Fire Island Inlet and Great South Bay area, let's check in with Captain Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island fishing. Fishing is good. Fluke fishing, not what I would hope it should be at this point in time. There were a few fish around. I fished today, State Channel area, had a couple shorts. I didn't have a keeper, a bunch of bluefish mixed in. So, there were some fish around. Weak fishing still holding up at Ocean Beach. Some day it's a lot of shorts. Other days you're getting a mix of shorts and keepers, some big ones up to 7-8 pounds. So that's still a viable fishery. Striped bass also still around. Slip gut making that a little bit tough fishing, but there are plenty of fish still to be had. So fishing is good. And I want to mention, I received a photo from a guy who landed a giant bluefin tuna, 80-inch fish, down in the mud hole inside of land. And I think they got to make regulations now for the bluefin tuna. They can only eat 16.5-inch sea bass. It's ridiculous. But anyway, you'll see a photo of it, and just this fish is packed with sea bass like, what, they're not plentiful? Give me a break. Anyway, all right, Matt. Bergen Bay Docks tournament is this weekend as well, so keep that in mind. All right, Matt, we'll talk to you next week. Keep you posted.
From Jones Beach Bait and Tackle, Brendan Rutigliano is back with reports from the West.
Thanks, Matt. Memorial Day weekend was kind of tough fishing-wise, as with all the boat traffic, with all the planes and everything. It was a great show, but fishing-wise, it was kind of tough. If you got out there, bluefish. Everybody's been talking about bluefish. Even Tuesday, Wednesday, we were still starting to hit them again. But the weekend definitely was tough, as most of you guys know that were out there. Honestly, I think the blues are here to stay for a while. So get out there, fish, and catch some blues, throw them on the smoker, and good to go. Yeah. All right. Back to you.
From Oceanside, we check in with Captain Joey Leggio.
Hey Matt, how are you today? So to report out of the Debs Inlet area is the bass starting to make an appearance. There's been some nice fish caught out of the inlet, both on the troll, on the mojo, and spoons, and also there's been a couple caught on the bunker itself. There's been plenty of threshers to be had. Chris George of Chris George's Closet had a nice one, probably about 250, 275. I saw the fish as he was coming into the inlet. The bridges, all the structures still holding plenty of bass. Guys are catching them on the lures, the bunkers, and also on the clam chum. So that's working really well. The fluke is still a slow start. We're really not getting much of the fluke. I was out playing around today with my son. He was kayaking, I was fluking. And a couple shorts, that was it, nothing crazy. A couple sea robins. Well, from what I'm getting, it doesn't seem like there's many. I know Barbara Solomon was out. She went a little further to the west. She had some nice fluke down in the Jamaica Bay area. And she also had some really beautiful stripers. And a couple big ones, too. I think she said she had one about 50 inches, too. So that's pretty awesome. So congratulations on that one, Barbara. This past weekend, we had the Memorial Day Bass Shootout hosted by Surfer Joe Pelucio and Bay Park Fishing Station. We had about 20 participants in the tournament. Great day, beautiful weather, a lot of fun. In the end, Anthony, the wet bandito, took first place, and I followed him in second place by 0.60 of a pound. But Anthony and I fished together the whole day. We were right neck and neck with each other. We had a blast, joking around, having a good time. And all the fish we caught were on the live bunker.
With our fly and freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, let me tell you, it's been a crazy week. I got out on Memorial Day with my boat. Guess what? It was like victory at sea. The wind was howling. I did see bluefish, but they were almost impossible to cast into. The wind was crazy. But anyway, we had a good time. We got out there. But I have been hearing before the blow, a lot of guys are still catching those bluefish on the flats right behind Jones Beach. It's been really good. Hey, listen, you never know. I have been doing a lot of freshwater fishing as far as guiding. We did come out here and I was at the Connecticut. I guided these two brothers. Their father gave them as a gift. It was a terrific day. We caught a lot of fish, but no dry fly accident. I was surprised. But anyway, it was really very good. So if you're interested in a guided trip, reach out to me. We do guiding and casting classes. It's been really good. So if you want, check out River Bay Outfitters. You give me a call, 516-415-7748, and we can set something up. Until next week, tie lines, everybody.
Let's check in with Chris Landry.
Thanks, Matt. I hope everyone had a great Memorial Day. We'd like to thank our veterans. We will be thanking them next Friday, June 9th at the Manhattan Cup, where Rocksteady Charters will be taking out veterans along with many other boats who have donated their time and boats for a great cause. Check out the Manhattan Cup for more details. I went out this weekend and the crew got on striped bass, bluefish, fluke, sea robins. There's a lot of life out there. Around this time last year, around the first week of June, was when I announced that the big bunker bite in the back of the bay was a bust. Okay, those big bass and the bunker move out basically in 48 hours. So I think we only have a week or 2 weeks left of the good bunker bite in the back of the bay. So get on it while you can. The blues are moving in, and usually it's a transition. When they move in heavy, the bass move out. There are some gator blues in the mix, some cocktail blues. So we only got a couple more weeks, and the action's going to be out in front in the ocean. There's a lot of other action out there that I'm going to be kind of tight-lipped about. There are tuna in the area. I'm not breaking new ground here. It was reported on last week. I've kept my mouth shut for a little bit because people are very sensitive about that intel. I'm not going to say where it is, but we will be going out on rockfish charters trying to catch those bluefin tuna. All right, I'm excited for that. So stay safe out there. Thank you to our veterans, and I'll see you at the Manhattan Cup. Tight lines, everybody. Back to you, Matt.
Let's check in with David Rogers. Dave.
Thank you, Matt. Hey, everyone. It's a great week to be fishing in the Western Sound. Whether you're looking to get a bass, a bluefish, a fluke, or a porgy, they are all here in the bays and in the Sound. This past week, adult bunker schools have become larger and are rising to the surface more frequently. This opens up the option for anglers to snag a live bunker and live line it on a circle hook. I did just that this past week and ended up with multiple slot and overslot bass that were all hungry for a live bunker. The challenge was to avoid the bluefish because they would often tear the bunker in two without taking the hook. If it's a bluefish you want, top water has been a great method of catching them. Funky Fisherman Dave was using a pencil popper when he caught this beautiful gator bluefish, and Funky Fisherman Spencer caught this bluefish on a dock spook lure. Bunker chunks have also been working wonders catching striped bass and bluefish. Whether it be from land or a boat, the fish are biting. When it comes to lures, the flutter spoon is still killing it in the Sound, and not only for bass, but for blues as well. The flutter spoon is becoming my favorite lure to use when jigging off the bottom of the sea floor. Fluke and porgy fishing remains to be okay. There are keeper fluke being pulled up, but not in large numbers yet. Peter Ranieri of Peter Ranieri II on YouTube sent us a photo of a nice fluke he caught this past week using a scented soft plastic. Porgies are also around in small pockets, but hopefully the larger schools show up soon. Well, that's all I got for this week's report, and as always, guys, make sure to check out Funky Fishing on YouTube to get a more detailed look into what's biting around the island. Stay groovy, everyone, and back to you, Matt.
Let's check in with Max Finch from the Connecticut side of the Western Sound.
The striped bass fishing in our area remains excellent this past week leading up to the full moon. We've seen fish over 50 pounds locally and to our west. We got another big wave of fish coming through. I saw a really good bite off 32A, Greenwich, all the way down to Execution. Guys are diamond jigging Execution, trolling mojos, umbrellas, bunker spoons, you name it. Throwing docks around the bunker schools or wielding some big fish, and also the flutter spoons. The flutter spoons has claimed a lot of big fish this year, especially working our deep water structure. Our deep water reefs locally, like 28C and 11B, the OB, and south of Green's Ledge, has been holding a lot of big fish. And now that the bunker are really filling in, they're putting the feed bag on. So just look for it to get better all the way through June. It's one of the better seasons we've seen in a very long time. Fluke fishing still remains a little slow. Guys are really weeding through some shorts to find their limits, but if you do want to give it a go, you know, can 26, 24, and then there's still guys shooting across the Sand City, Smithtown Bay, along the beaches, and then inside Ian's Neck. Porgies are flooded our area. Guys are getting from the beaches now. They're getting from the piers, you know, the mouth of the harbors, our deep water structure and our shallow water structure. They should just keep filling in as our water's warm. Sea bass, 32A is the hot spot, and 28C along the Celtic Wreck. You know, high-low rigs, clams, squid, bucktails, they'll take jigs, you name it. Bluefish, oh my God, this week has been insane. And we've seen a lot of big blues move into our area. Monster gators up to like 17, 18 pounds. These things have been found harassing bunker schools in the mouths of our harbors, in our deep water. They're on our deep water structure, mixed in with the bass. Always a blast with the family. Thanks and good luck.
Raul Ortiz, the urban angler, has a report from around the city.
As you know, fishing continues to be good all around the city. South and North Shore beaches of Long Island, upstate New York has simmered down a bit. A lot of big fish have moved on now. Anyway, I did go out once or twice with some difficulties on getting fish, but still managed to get them, but just had to put in more time. Besides that, guys, looks like the clock is ticking and a lot of fish are on the move right now. Anyway, thank you, Gil. Thank you, Raul, for the pictures. And everybody else, just keep throwing what you're throwing. You're going to get them. And tight lines, guys. Back to you, man.
Captain Mike Sentry has the latest from Staten Island.
Thanks, Tim and Matt. Hope all is well. Well, guys, Mike Sentry here from Anglers of Legend Sportfish and Boatworks. What can I say? Another fantastic week. Let's make this pretty short and sweet. My friends been going out there for striped bass, jumbo striped bass, using the Chuck Tillman Manny method, which is the live eels. For example, my guy, Guy Buno, Crunch Sportfish out of Staten Island, he's been putting clients on a hell of a run on striped bass, some really nice jumbos. Let's see, sea bass, my friend Chris on the Sea Owl, another guy filling in buckets with his team and his clients out there for sea bass. Very delicious fish to eat, I'll say. As for me, went out there on, I believe it was Friday, and managed to catch my limit of sea bass. A little bit of live lining for tuna. No luck on that end, but that's all great and dandy. Not too concerned about one day. What else? Our local canyons, pretty much south of the Hudson and north of the Hudson, been producing some spectacular yellowfin and bluefin tuna bites. Pretty much look for the eddies, and that's where the action's usually at. Well, with that said, this weekend's going to be a wash. We're looking at 40-mile-an-hour gust winds, so take this time to do some maintenance on your boats, service your reels, your rods, get your hooks straightened up and sharpened, and stay tuned for next week, and give you guys another great report. Oh, by the way, the Manhattan Cup, June 9th, veterans only tournament. Can't wait to be there. It's going to be spectacular. So stay tuned for that as the day approaches. So back to you, Matt.
Lastly, we check in with Captain Benn Gilmour from Marina Pez Vela down in Costa Rica.
Hey there, and welcome to Costa Rica and the Marina Pez Vela. This is Ben Gilmour from Jackpot Sport Fishing with this week's fishing report. So here along the beaches and the rocks, what we call our inshore fishery, we've had some really nice rooster fishing this past couple of weeks. We caught some great sized rooster fish up to 50 pounds, some real trophy fish. We've been tagging a lot of those fish for the Gray Fish Tag Research Program in Florida. Some really cool fishing going on. Offshore, we've had sailfish, lots and lots of sailfish out there right now. Down here in Costa Rica, we get big Pacific sailfish, 70 to 100 pounds. Fish are common. Most of those fish are 8 feet long, so amazing sport on light tackle. Also, we've had yellowfin tuna out there and some really nice dorado fishing as well. Guys, would love to see you down here in Costa Rica. We got some awesome fishing packages. We got lots of great boats. Just look behind me here. Got a top-notch fleet down here. Come down and check us out. This is Ben Gilmour from Jackpot Sport Fishing and the Marina Pez Vela. Back to you.
If you would like to be a part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from the New York Metro and Long Island area, and especially from the beach. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact my producer at tcslibayrat@gmail.com. Don't forget this video is available as a podcast on iTunes and Google Podcasts. Search for the Fisherman Magazine podcast and subscribe so you can listen to this broadcast and our other content. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and index for specific reports. Please support our correspondence by visiting the websites and their social media pages.
Subscribe to the Fisherman Magazine today and compete in the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. It's the Fisherman subscriber-only season-long, region-wide, multi-species fishing competition to win a Steigercraft and many more prizes. Subscribe, fish, win.
We hope you're enjoying the weekly video fishing forecast. Please leave any questions or comments in our YouTube channel. Fish safe, and we'll see you right here next week at fisherman.com.